Hey, this is Key, and this is Key Creative Studio, Master Joy in Japan. I'm sorry I have not followed up in a while, and I apologize if my voice is a little hoarse. Actually, I was sick for a little bit, but I'll do my best to get through this video because I promised this one some time ago, and this is a little tutorial trip on how to draw hair. Okay, so like drawing hair can be a bit of a challenge or a difficulty for people. But particularly like to making it seem like the hair is attached to the head, right? Everyone seems to have that difficulty. So I'm going to take you through some basic things that I think that might be helpful, and I'm going to show some examples. I'll get back to these examples that I pulled up. These are some people that I thought um, do hair very well. Um, so I'll come back to this in a bit. Okay. Okay. So one of the biggest problems that people have when it comes to drawing hair is that when they set out to draw the hair, um, they draw the hair um, as like individual strands or something like that. They'll do something like this or whatever, and it looks very sketchy and stringy and not particularly like uniform in any sort of way. So that's the big problem, which is like trying to um, get a sense of like a composition, right? You want to organize things together, right? So so instead of drawing the hair um, stringy like this, right? We don't want this, right? What we do want to do is draw the hair as a solid mass. Now I'm going to do um, a very like large mass, for example. Like let's say like it's a woman, who's got her hair like pulled back, like in a bun or something like that, right? Okay, there's an ear here, there's an ear here. All right, ears pulled back, hairs in a bun like that. Okay. All right, now. So in the beginning, actually, this is really all that you really need in the beginning. Okay. Of course, here's a neck. Okay. All right. So the uniformity in this mass here is, of course, this. So we read this as being as like one group, right? If you have sketchy stuff like this stuff here over here, um, our eyes don't really like know where to go, right? So we start reading these things as individual pieces of information. So we want to avoid that. Okay, so you want to read things as being like one uniform thing. Okay, now the other thing is like, okay, like how do we get that um, how do we get that illusion of hair, right? Okay, so um, another thing that we should try to keep in mind is when we give like definition to the hair. Okay, um, you don't want to again do it where we're drawing like individual hairs like this, even like that. That tends to get kind of well, it gets to be like noisy and a little bit hard like to read like what is what. Okay, what I recommend you guys do is, okay, like by now you should have an idea of like how to light a volume. Like if this is like a ball, right? And like light is coming down here, like this, right? And So basically, the so we have the like. I mean, of course, this is very very simple, but essentially, this is what we're going to have here, right? We're going to have, our light coming down here like that, and then, I guess right now maybe this is like a very intense light, that I've done here. But basically, you have this uh, this core shadow here, and of course, it's in contrast, to this direct light over here. So, that's essentially, what you want, the way you want to treat the hair. You don't draw the hair just like, okay, I'm just going to draw like like strands and things like that, but try to draw the hair as as value in terms of like, in terms of how light is reflecting off of it. Okay, because that's because again, that makes things more uniform. So again, if I have like, let's say, what, I'll give her a part. I'll even do that. 1 second. So I'll make it kind of like almost like two volumes in a way to make it easier. Okay. So if the light is coming down on this woman here like this, that means, well, essentially that this is going to be the brightest point, but this is going down. Here is going down. So as this hair goes in, like towards like where the scalp, there's going to be a shadow in here like that. All right, and then of course, like the light is going to, it's going to go on here. So the light is going to be like less visible over here, right? And then, the light is going to be even like less visible over here like this. And then of course, like down here, it's going to be even less visible. This bun in the back, of course, is going to be further away from the light as well. Okay. All right. And of course, even though the light's coming down here, there's going to be a little bit like less light in this area over here, like that. Now this is just a very um, um, abbreviated way, but this might be helpful in terms of like getting your mind around like where things should be. Another thing, again, if the light's coming down here, there's going to be less light in here, right? Like kind of like underneath the hair as well, right? So you're gonna have that, and of course, yeah, there's gonna be like a little bit less light around here, like so. So actually, since this is going in, maybe a little bit of like shadow is coming in like that, but not too much. It's not going to be like here like that. It's not, that's a little bit too much, right? So essentially, this is what you want to use as like as a model. Okay. Now you're like, well, this looks like very very simple, and which is fine. There are other things we can do like to help, to bring it out a little bit more, to make it look more like hair, which is, since it's uniform, we can put a little bit more detail in here like that to get more of that hair like illusion, like that, right? So all right, so but what really makes this all together is that, like, one, I've put them together as a group, and then in terms of like the actual hair, I've um, um, I've put that in as a value, like not necessarily as like individual hairs. Okay, and I'll show you a little bit some examples of some people who do this very 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 well. And also, okay, another thing actually, And let's say if I have like a strand of hair like coming like this, right? Or sorry, or a group of hair coming like that. Okay. So, again, even though I I have this one little loose strands here like that, I'm only doing that to just to give it a little bit more sense of realism. But the main part is like this kind of tape-like, tube-like form that I have here, and there's the same rules apply, right? If the light is coming down here like that, that means that this is going to be um, in kind of shadow, and then this is also going to be furthest away from the light because the light's coming down here like that. Okay, so that might be a little bit helpful for you guys. Okay, another thing also that might be helpful to remember um, is like always to remember to have like contrast, right? You don't want to just do, let's say, well, okay, at least in the beginning anyway, because I actually sometimes it is case by case in terms of how we actually like design and group the hair together. But you don't want to do like something like this, um, and where it's kind of like spotty like that. Now sometimes people can do some things like that, um, but mm, it's a little bit more difficult to read like where the changes are, right? That because that's what our eyes are always looking for. We're trying to find like where is the change in information, like where is the change in value, right? So that's why if you notice like here, I have essentially I have like a dark value here, all right, and then there's a little bit of light, and then I have like a dark value here like this essentially, and then there's a light, and then there's a dark, and then there's a light, and then another another dark in here. So it's always like this alternating of value that we have. Now, of course, again, this is just kind of like a model, right? Not everyone does it like this, but this is like an easy way, and I'll show. You know what? Here. I'll give you an example. Here, let me pull out. Um, let me see. Let's see if I can pull this directly into. All right. So this is a sketch by. So this is a sketch by John Romita. Okay. Um, and John Romita was one of the great comic artists, and uh, of course art editors and designers over at Marvel Comics um, in their golden years. Okay, actually, I'm sorry. Their silver years anyway. So if you notice here, John is using that same pattern that I was talking about, which is like he's drawn the hair here not as individual. These are not individual strands, but these are examples of value actually, right? Now in comics, in American comics, you generally traditionally the light source is kind of like coming generally from like from the like the left corner to like the journey at the top. Like in other words, like there's no um, real like rendering or shading like in the face. So so the light is relatively even. But as I was trying to point out, um, yeah, you see like here he has a, a this value here, dark value, then there's a light value here, right? And then here there's a dark value here because it's going away from the light, and then it's a light value. Actually, this is really nice the way he did it. Um, there's a dark value here, right? And then it kind of goes up to like so. So if you notice, like the light all the way across here, that's the same, right? So like what he doesn't do is like do this. Like he doesn't do like that, and then like have like this, something like this. It's gonna start like to look kind of like a little bit spotty and weird, actually. So he has a consistent value of light going across here. So again, here at the top, you have a dark value, and then here at the bottom, you have that dark a dark value here in the middle. It's separated by light, like so. So you always want to keep that kind of contrast. You know, light dark, light dark, light dark, and all the time. Okay. All right. So again, like this is pretty much like for like like American comics, or like simple cartoons and things like that. Okay. Um, okay. Let me let me give you another example. Now, okay, so that's like the general rule there, right? All right, I'm gonna pull out another artist that I respect very much. That I think does hair very well. Hold on. Uh, Okay, so this is J. Scott Campbell, another Marvel Comics uh, alumnus, and yeah, I like the way he draws hair as well. And his hair, always has this very um, uh, this very nice flow, rhythm to it. It has a feeling like there's like a lot of detail to it, right? But he's essentially uh, doing the same things, that I said before, at least initially, which is to when we lay things in terms of the hair, um, you want to like lay it in as a group, right? So I'm not trying to recreate this drawing here, but um, I do want to um, try to give you an idea like what he's doing here in terms of the hair. Okay, so here's the head. Okay, all right, it's kind of got this kind of shape going, essentially. Okay, all right. So what Scott Campbell is, what he's not doing, he's not doing this. He's not doing that. Okay, all right. Trust me, I know. Um, and even though I'm sure that with all the years experience that he has, he can get away with it, and do something like that. But that is not what he's doing. Okay. Now you might say, well, that's kind of okay. Well, what I've done here, it kind of works because there is a sense of uniformity to it. Even though I'm drawing individual hairs, which is I don't want to start that way. Um, at least I did it with a sense of like trying to bring them together, right? But still, like this is a little bit too. Um, this is maybe not quite like the best way to start off. Okay, so um, what I'm pretty sure what he did is when he started, he did like this forward bang as like one big mass like that, and then this hair here have that as another mass, and then the hair here on the side as another mass. Okay, and so when we do that, our eyes are reading the groups, right? It's not, of course, there's the beauty of the individual hairs and all that kind of stuff, but it's the group, that we're reading. Okay. Oh, it's another thing that might be helpful for you guys to keep in mind is yeah, when you draw hair, you also want to keep in mind a sense of gravity. Okay, so because gravity is the great equalizer in drawing, because that's at least if there's drawing the figure, because gravity is what immediately creates a sense of realism and believability, because we all understand that on a very intuitive level. When something is like defying that, or is like breaking away from that, like we automatically know like that um, something is wrong, something is up, right? So if you notice like uh, what he's doing here, in the hair, um, do you see how the hair, like it's falling down and then it's spreading out like that? So that's what you want to, that's what that you want to keep in mind, like when you draw hair. It's like you want to also keep in mind like what are the forces that are acting upon it, whether it's wind, or in this case it's gravity, right? So we all know if it's something like if it's a mass, if it's like a fluid flowing mass like this, as it falls like down towards gravity, it's going to expand out a little bit, and then when it hits something, it's gonna spread out a little bit, and then it's gonna almost like a water, kind of thing, right? So that's something that's also important to keep in mind, right? If gravity is going down like this, right? So we know like the heavy points should be here, like that. That's gravity wants to pull this hair downward, right? And of course the hair is light, so it's not gonna fall just straight down, but it's gonna like kind of like fall away, you know, like, so. So that's what you want to keep in mind when you draw hair, is that, yeah, like where's gravity, right? Like where are things, um where is like the pull of those forces, right? So in this case, in my case, right, the hair is being pulled down like that. So I'm not just doing that as a graphic choice, to think, oh, I just want it to look full, but I'm thinking about, well, if it's resting on her shoulder like this, then that means what it should do, it should fall down and then like spread out like that, right? If her shoulders here like that, if there's a lot of mass, to it, then it will probably fall, something like that. Okay, and then of course it's gonna flow around like that. Okay. Um, the other thing, um, wanted to talk. I'm trying to make this female not look too homely and too gruesome for you guys, because I really just want to focus on the hair, to be honest. But I'll try to make her look halfway attractive for you guys. Um, so because this is really supposed to be a discussion about the hair, right? Okay. Okay, here we go. Oops. Ay, ay, ay. It's another thing, when you guys when you draw, um, when you draw like mouths, always remember that the mouth is the lips. Sorry, the lips are actually they're a membrane. They're not so much like a um, you know you want to try to avoid like making the lips like look like pasted cutouts or something like that, right? Sorry, my voice is bad. Excuse me. Okay, all right. I think this will do for now. I just want to give you guys the idea here. Okay. All right. This is. Don't worry, Scott Campbell. Your job is secure. No no competition from me in terms of what you do. Okay, I'm just trying to get this face here. Okay. All right. So that being said, um, okay. So what's up with these individual hairs here, right? So yeah. Now when you have the hair, when you want to imply like that the hair is coming out, right? You want as best as possible the hair to come from like the same general location, right? Generally speaking, right? So no, not everything is coming out from like this same spot all around, but generally, you want to try to group like how it's coming out. So if I'm thinking, like you have this group here, so I'm gonna have the hair like this. Sorry, computer is not cooperating with me. So sorry. All right. So yeah, just like the hair coming out, you'll have something like that. All right. But again, I'm doing this like within this group of hair that I set out that I set down in the first place. Okay. Or in terms of here, again, the hair is going to come boom, boom, like that. So again, you want to try to make things as uniform as possible. Okay. Make it uniform as possible. All right. Or here. Okay. Like that. That's the general. That's the general of what he's doing here. Um, so when you draw hair, um, again, don't put them in as individual strands. Okay, group them together as much as you can. Group them together as much as you can. That way, people will be able to read it as as one thing. If you have like too much detail that is not that's not uniform, then people are gonna um, they're gonna see the individual forms, and then they're gonna get kind of lost. They'll be they'll be like looking at spaghetti actually. Um, so please keep that in mind. Okay. Um, Another thing also, you know, so in terms of the way um, Campbell designs his hair, so he's not doing what John Romita does, where he would have what I said before, like you have I mean he could do it, but the way he renders his characters is a lot different. Like this would be like a this could be a dark form. This would be a dark. This would be a dark. This would be a dark, right? And then, all right, here would be light, and then this would be a dark. So the top part would be a dark. Okay, I am not drawing hair. I'm drawing value right now. Okay, that's what I'm doing. Okay, so it's just that you know I try to emulate the strokes as much as possible to look like hair, but it's value that I'm drawing, not um, not the individual hairs in here. Okay, actually that's a little bit too close to the light, so actually maybe that wouldn't cast shadow actually. Um, so again, this round part will be the part that's closest to the light. So I have to assume that in here it's gonna be brightest, but here it's gonna get dark again. It's gonna be a little bit farther away from the light. Okay. Um, yeah, and it's basically anytime you have something like pushing out, it's gonna be farthest away. It's gonna be farther away from the light. I'm sorry, my computer is just not cooperating with me. And you're seeing that in real time. I'm sorry. Okay. So this is like a John Romita kind of like, and even like John Buscema. John Buscema would do stuff like this too. And he's probably getting it um, from John Romita most likely, right? And I guess I have to assume like this would be farthest away. Okay. Apologies to J. Scott Campbell. I am not trying to ruin your drawing here, but just use this as an example. J. Scott Campbell is really one of my favorite favorite artists because he has a bit of a mix between, of course, comic book style illustration, but also I think he appreciates uh, classic um, illustration, like commercial illustration. Like people like um, Robert McGinnis or Steve Howley. There's an artist named Steve Howley. I think it's Steve Howley, who Julie is really very like attractive, cute, idyllic kind of American women, um, with a similar kind of face, like that. And of course, there's a Disney animation influence for him as well. Because actually, I'm also influenced by that as well. So, anyway, my point is that um, you know, yeah, Scott doesn't do that because in most cases, all this value will be taken up in the coloring. So generally, he leaves his hair like that. But something that a John Romita or a John Buscema would do would be something like this. Okay. All right. So Let me give you another example. Okay, I'll do one more example, then I'll bring this to a close. Okay, all right, I'm going to show a couple of more in terms of some people who are uh, breaking some of the rules in the interest of design. So this is Adam Hughes, um, the great Adam Hughes. He's probably considered like the best, or he's the most well-known artist for drawing um, pinup pinup artwork for the comic book industry. I think he's fantastic, of course. This is not the best example of the way he draws. He draws here wonderfully, and they're designed very well. And actually, he takes a lot of cues from the artist Alphonse Mucha, who I'm gonna show you in a little bit. Um, but but what he is doing here, he is grouping everything together, right? So like this here is one group, right? And like this section here is another group, right? Um, Now he puts in a flat black value because this is just a sketch, obviously, um, and um, but sometimes that's all you need. Oh, by the way, actually, and I'm being lazy, but I do want to show you something that he's doing that I stopped doing a second ago. Um, when you want to put in like a flat uniform color, um, or uniform value here, and you're working like with a pencil or something like that, do your best to make sure that all the lines are generally as parallel as possible. Okay, try to make them as parallel as possible. That way, again, they're more uniform, and then your eyes will read it better. If you do this, if you do like, well, okay, I'll do something like this, and then I'll do like that, and then like this, and then I'll do something like that, and then yeah, you see how you see how that falls apart, right? All right. So as opposed to over here, again, everything is generally it's like one family here, right? I think I said this before, but it's a fact of life. But the more diverse an entity is, the more chaotic it becomes, right? So it becomes a lot harder to read because you have all sorts of information, and they're all fighting for dominance, right? And it just never works, right? There has to be something that unifies them, right? There's nothing wrong with things being different or slightly contrasting, but they have to be in some sort of order. Otherwise, or something that unifies them together. Otherwise, it's going to read as chaos, right? So anyway, just keep that in mind, okay? So when you um, yeah, so like what he's doing here, yeah, he's kept again. This is and he's been doing good girl art for over what, maybe almost for maybe for 40 years, I think, actually, this guy, if not a little bit longer. But so this is just a quick sketch, but he knows well enough. Anytime like he's gonna put down like a uniform value, he's gonna put it down in a way that it reads as one thing. Okay. If you want to show some sort of like change or rhythm, like for example, all right, for example, like this is like a curve here, and this is rising up. If I did something like that, like so so even though I've drawn like individual lines, I've done my best to make sure that this is a rhythm that is uniform. Okay, so that's something that that will want like to help inform your drawings. Okay. All right. Let me keep moving. Actually, uh, so that okay. That's it. That's him. Um, this is Alex Toth. He was a designer, animator, comic book artist. Um, Actually, he was a really great artist. Um, he did so much of the work that was at Hanna-Barbera in the 70s, and he designed the first Justice League cartoon. I'm sorry, no, not the first Justice League, but uh, the Super Friends one, the one that's probably the most popular one actually. Anyway, but okay, so you have a guy here like with short hair. So you see what he's doing here again, like he's drawing everything is like it's like one uniform thing, right? It's one uniform, right? One uniform um, volume here. He's not drawing, he's not starting off like drawing individual hairs, right? Of course, like once you get the volume in, then you can put some detail in there, like for example, like um, to give the impression of like individual hairs. Um, but you don't want to start off like like doing this kind of that kind of stuff, right? So um, hold on. Okay. Yeah, actually, I'm gonna pull two up right now actually. So this is Frank Frazetta, of course. I think he needs no introduction because I've spoken about him so many times. Okay, and sorry, let me put this down here. Sorry, and here I have um, John Buscema, a contemporary of Frank Frazetta. They're both famous for drawing a character named Conan the Barbarian, and and of course Conan is a fantasy uh, pulp series, and of course there are lots of wild-haired barbarians and women with long long exotic-looking hair. Um, Now, in both cases, they're kind of like breaking um, that simple rule that I spoke about before about like alternating the light, right? Here on the uh, on the left for Frank, what Frank is doing is he's like he's designed it as like this one big kind of like oil spill kind of mass, right? um, which works very well, right? And um, John over here is kind of doing a similar thing as well. um, his is not as wild and not as idealized as the one on the left, but it is pretty much idealized. I mean, it's not very often we see women, with like this much hair these days, and it's going like that. And of course, it's designed so. But there are certain things that he is keeping in mind, as I said before, which is like gravity and uniformity and rhythm, right? So obviously, her hair, she has a lot of hair, and of course, gravity is like bringing it down like this. Sorry. Right? So obviously, it's gonna get heavy down here, like so, like that. Obviously, it's all um, you read this as one group, right? You read all this as one group, right? We're not reading like individual groups here, right? I'm sorry, like small information individual groups, right? But he's just hinted. Um, he's just hinted at like where the light will be reflecting, because the hair is so thick and so rich, right? That only at the outermost parts, like where it's pushing out from the light. For example, like here, right? Um, um, Here, right, and then in here. Okay, I'm just putting over just so you guys can see it, um, right? So I mean, like again, he could have done he could have done something like this, and put in a lot more, and then like maybe do something like this, and then do something like that, and then okay, push that out, and then okay, maybe some light over here. I mean, he could have easily done this, right? Um, but that would have taken away from the design of his character. And of course, I think he wanted to draw this woman, with very 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 rich hair. So sometimes um, you really have to think like, how do you want to design how do you want to design this hair, right? How do we going to design this hair, right? Um, he wanted this hair to be like to feel like thick and like really like black and like oil like. I mean this what I put there on top, that can work. Again, like alternating it, but sometimes a little bit less is more. Okay. Um, Frank, what he did here. Now he doesn't use that alternating pattern in the hair. It's just this big black mass like that, and then like he has like the individual hairs coming out like that, and that it's an awesome design, and that really speaks of him. So, but there are elements in there, of course, because it's going off like this. We do have a sensation where probably like the wind is blowing in, like that, you know, and you can also get the sensation like her hair, even though it's very very black and thick, like maybe like the ends are like very like are kind of like frizzy, at the end, right? Which also it creates makes it kind of interesting. Um, so you want to think about like the kind of line that you're using. How much highlights are you going to use in your drawing, because that will create well, it does create a sense of the atmosphere of the character, right? So keep that in mind. All right. So anyway, these are two of my favorite artists here. Actually, all these artists that I'm showing you are my favorite artists, but these two are at the top. All right, let's get to some real stuff. Okay. All right. So, oh, all right. So this is Alphonse Mucha. Okay. And excuse me, one more. Oh, excuse me. That's Alphonse Mucha, and this is also um, Alphonse Mucha. Okay. Um, Now Muha is mostly famous for his commercial work, and I think as I was saying before, in terms of um, uh, Adam Hughes, who emulated a lot of Muha's design sense. Um, um, yeah, it's really mostly like it's his commercial work that he's really trying to emulate. Let me make this a little more simple for you guys. So as you can see here, Muha, as he's drawing this hair in here, all right. Again, he drew this as one large value at first. Okay, he did not. Right, he probably put in like a large, sketching a large value like that at first. And you know his touch is a lot lighter. It's a lot more uh, subtle and controlled here. But you know he's putting a dark value here all across here. You know this is a dark value. But you know the way he's putting it in, he's taking his time, um, and probably a lot more gently than I'm doing right now. And he's making all this as uniform as possible. So I think that's like one of the great keys in terms of like successful drawing design is like uniformity, because generally even though people find chaos to be exciting, people are looking for like uniformity. Like, what does something mean? They're trying to find the meaning of something. They're not trying to absorb several different meanings at once, because they're all going in different directions, right? So um, yeah, again, this is also Alphonse Mucha as well. Okay. And this is just absolutely beautiful. This is just absolutely beautiful, and yeah, this is how you do it. Okay. Um, so now again, I'm not gonna try to uh, recreate the divine greatness of Alphonse Mucha, but I can maybe show you a little bit of like the DNA of how this works. Okay. So a little bit closer look at it. So, people might be inclined to think again, oh, when he did this, he just did hairs like this and like that, you know, and that is not what he did. That is not what he did. Um, I am very sure when he set out to do this drawing, or all these drawings, he he set it out as a large mass first. So, for example, I'm just going to draw just, well, you know what, fine, I'll draw the head. Alright, so we have a head here, and then hair coming like that, like this, and then, so these are all groups, okay? And these are all groups. Okay. Alright, generally speaking. Okay. Okay. I'm sorry, I just want to get the semblance of a head in here so we have something to work on, or at least you know what I'm talking about. Okay. All right. So like here's our head here, right? All right. So once he got these general large volumes here. Okay. Oh, this is such a beautiful drawing. It's beautiful. This drawing is so beautiful, man. Because it's got everything I was talking about, right? It's got uniformity. He's showing in here, like he's showing like the weight. You know gravity is pulling that down. Man, this is really nice drawing. Okay, so enough fanboying about that. So once he got the individual volumes down, then what he can do, um, when he goes back into it. Use a smaller one here. Um, so like, all right. So this is light, and like that's dark, right? It's pretty simple. It's that simple. Um, so what he does is like he puts it in as a value. Okay. And he's not going all over the place with it. It's very very controlled. Okay. I'm not another thing. I'm not trying to copy exactly what he's doing here, but I want to understand his choices here and try to emulate that. And this is a bit farther away from light, so it might be a little bit darker. And also, there's some points here where he actually has like a very large. Put this opacity down. Yeah, he does put down like a large tone here, also to imply um, shadow. Right. So that this is the general idea of what he's doing. Make this a little bit bigger. Okay. So then, so he did put some gray values in there for the hair. And then again he can go back, and then he could put in additional value for the hair, like 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 this. So when you guys when you draw hair, I guess if there's any advice I can give you, uh, hopefully it will be worth anything, which is try to make sure that everything is uniform. Okay, try to find uniformity as much as possible. And when I say uniformity, I'm talking about those things that groups them together. And it goes beyond just just the shapes, but it also refers to the the forces acting upon the hair. Again, like I said, like things like gravity, right? Um, Light, okay, and rhythm. Um, I think if you um, take those things into mind, um, I think the hair that you draw is going to look it's gonna look that much more believable. Okay. Now I know it might look like I'm drawing individual hairs, but I'm not. Again, what I'm drawing is like a succession of rhythms here. That's what I'm doing. I'm not just going cha 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 cha, but I'm going shasham 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 like that. So um, I want these hairs to feel like there's a relationship between those hairs. So it becomes like one group, right? If you have them all like haphazard like that, it's not going to work. And again, your audience who's looking at it, they're not going to know where to look, and they're gonna get confused, and then it's gonna look spotty and stuff like that. So um, so even when you you you, you think you're going to draw individual hairs, you're really not. You're really drawing like um, the forces that are unifying them. Okay, so all right. So on that note, I am gonna bring this to a close, but I hope this was a little bit helpful for you guys. Um, as I tell all my students, there's no magic bullet. There's no um, secret sauce, or like one little um, bit of secret advice, that's gonna save you, all at once. Um, really what it comes down to is practice. It's practice. Of course, study, and every time you learn something, step by step, you get a little bit closer to where you want to go. But practice is the only way. Okay. Okay, all right. I'm gonna stop here. I hope that was a little bit helpful. If you like this, please give me a like. Please subscribe. And if you have any requests, like for a topic in the future, please leave me a comment below. Okay. All right. Thanks very much. See you next time. All right. Bye bye.